Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Way Up Trading. Now, today we're going to be going over the AMC stock and taking a look exactly what's happening on the chart, where I think this thing is going, where we are, and what's the possibility of some point in time having a reversal on this thing. Now, this stock has been just a crazy situation, and it's continuing to pile down even though all these other stocks are running. The SPY has been up and down throughout 404 to 420 and back down. The QQQs are going nuts. Everything's moving, but AMC seems to be stuck in one particular spot, range trading side to side. I'm gonna go over what I think is happening with the stock, what it's looking like going forward, and where we can possibly see some type of reaction back to the upside. And I'm gonna go and take a look at that right after this.
Do you love movies? Because I love movies.
All right, I have AMC pulled up on the 3-day chart, just taking a look at the price action. I mentioned this stock set up here for the last few weeks. We also talked about this on Twitter. I posted this on a few different occasions, so hopefully you're following me on Twitter. If not, my link is in the description. Go ahead and follow me there. Post a lot of high quality plays, as well as what I'm seeing with some of our favorite stocks, AMC, GME, and so on and so forth. And you're taking a look here, we're going to recap this, just letting you know where we stand. We are basically in the descending broadening wedge on the macro time frame. This is the 3-day. This is from the beginning of AMC's inception, as we talked about. And we have the super macro descending broadening wedge, where we got our lows at 117. We had that pop up after the January squeeze and a retest of this wedge, which gave us our $72 run up to $72 in June of 2021. We then played that bull flag or bull pennant for quite a period of time until we were rejected in November 2021, and we waterfalled all the way down, creating a new pattern, which was a descending broadening wedge, to go and test the super macro descending broadening wedge here, the yellow line, pretty much where we are now. This all formed a falling wedge where we played lower and lower volume as the price continued to fall. OBV has stayed up above the signal line, and actually in some cases actually risen price, but that's a whole nother topic altogether. However, we are sitting down at the lows right now of roughly about $4.64 is where we finished off today, which is basically a retest again and actually a little bit of a fall through of the macro descending broadening wedge. We'll move in a little bit closer to get a better look at what's happening here. This is the 1 hour time frame. You can see this yellow line here, which shows the super macro descending broadening wedge, and the red line is the resistance of that macro falling wedge. And you can see as of today, we've officially broken the super macro descending broadening wedge. We were rejected today roughly at about $4.85 after hitting this resistance line that I have marked here. Played that, knocked down and rejected. No volume was coming in to support the upside move, and we've literally waterfalled and broken through all our supports. I expected us to start to move up after we got this hammer candle here, or reversal candle here back yesterday when we held above the $4.70 mark where we actually closed, which is again a good confluence area to have expected some type of a move back up. We did close there, and we did get a nice move up obviously this morning off of that reversal, but it was all just drained away due to volume being sucked completely dry out of the stock. And right now our next level of support are looking somewhere around the $4.48 mark that I have marked here, as well as a little bit lower, which is the gap fill at $4, the top of the gap fill at $4.30. And then from there would be the bottom of the gap fill at about $4.08. Now my indicators pulled up here. You can see the gap fill is represented by this green box, and my support lines, as you can see, are represented here. So we got that breakthrough, lost that, and now we're looking to go ahead and play this level here, which is the optimal price at 443, 448, around that area. If that doesn't hold, we'll go a little bit lower. This green line is the uptrend since our most recent lows back at around $4 and change, as well as back when we actually hit $3.70 or so earlier in the year. So that is the uptrend that we have now lost at this point, and we're now playing the downside after being rejected today at 485 and looking to go down and play this lower portion and most likely fill the gap. I don't want to see us fail the gap going forward. Obviously that would be really detrimental. The lower side, that would be playing the lower side of this falling wedge, the macro falling wedge, which is down here roughly at about 376, where we possibly be looking for a triple bottom, which is a bullish reversal sign. However, it would be a lot of pain before we're actually able to go and do that. I'd prefer us to just go ahead and bounce off of this, fill the gap, get it out the way, and turn around. But with this stock, you just never know the way things are being delayed, where the volume is being delayed and pulled back from us. Right now, it just seems like big money does not want to step in and actually push this thing up, regardless of what's happening with the box office, the reversal that we're starting to see in the possibilities of profitability for AMC, the different revenue streams with popcorn and credit cards and things like that. It doesn't seem as if they're ready to make a move on this thing just yet. And we can see that clearly from the volume being literally sucked dry, where there's nothing really coming in. And it's easy to push down the price when there's no buying actually happening. So is it a bullish reversal sign that no volume is coming in? Yes, until the volume actually starts to pick up. And this is all related to what's happening with the lawsuit, with the reverse split. Because of it, it's unsure what AMC is looking like for the future to the big money. So we're not seeing a reaction at this point in time. I think it's going to still wind up being a situation where we do get a reversal. It's just how long can this last until things start to turn around. Once volume comes in, this thing can really take off very quickly, because there's now been sucked so dry from volume that any little buying volume that actually comes in above 10 million in volume for the day could shoot this thing upward very quickly. So we'll see how things play out in the next couple of days. Right now, they're just basically just drying this thing out as much as they possibly can. I'm not sure whether or not they're going to go ahead and try to cover on this thing as soon as they can if we do get some bullish news. However, we do have some good stuff coming out over the weekends. We're in the holiday season. Memorial Day tends to be actually pretty bullish for AMC. We do really well in the theaters. Great movies coming out. Obviously, we had a couple movies come out over the weekend. Fast X was out, as well as Guardians of the Galaxy, as well as Little Mermaid coming out for the holiday season also, which should be huge. Disney does really well with these types of movies, especially on holiday weekends. Kids are off, things like that. So we'll see some positive catalysts most likely with those types of names. Hopefully that could be enough to turn this thing around going into the next week or two. But however, I do still see a move happening. But the longer they drain this out, the more I see this thing coming down lower, which will just limit the upside. The upside I'm looking at this point, if we do get the reversal and we do wind up getting our bounce off of the gap fill, we're looking at this particular uptrend here to be retested once that happens. The lower they drop it, the lower the ceiling that they create. So I'm expecting once we get this gap fill here, the same as what happened last time around that occurred. We got this drop at about 406, fill that gap, and we ran all the way back up into earnings. I expect a similar move happening this time around. We go and get that gap, almost creating a triple bottom setup, breaking this downtrend once again, and start making a move climbing back up towards about the $8.50 mark, somewhere around here in the midterm, which would be roughly about 100% move from the lows. They're dropping the price down to a reasonable number before they start to go ahead and cover or purchase back shares for a cheaper price. Ultimately, that can possibly play out in two ways. It can continue, but we're based on where we are. If we go ahead and break that descending broadening wedge one more time, I believe that we can really start to see some upside going into the end of the summer, somewhere around August to September, early September. We can start to play the upside based upon where we are in the charts. Right now, I have this 400 moving average starting to move down. This is the 1 hour time frame. As things go downwards with the 1 hour time frame, you'll start to see, if we start to see some volume pick up, we can move very quickly, because this is a very tightly wound up stock at this point in time. If we get the right type of catalyst, if the details come in that we need with the stock, as well as a reverse stock split, this thing will start to take off very quickly. However, my indicators are still telling me that there's a reversal coming very, very soon, and I believe that we'll start to see that move going in again into the summertime. This is the 3-day chart here, moving in a little bit closer on the 3-day chart. Still have this area that we're in. Anything underneath $6.13 I'm considering to be a macro spring level, and if we can continue to hold this area and start to get some reversals after we play that triple bottom off of the gap, I can still start to see us move back towards 613. And once we break 613, I really feel that this is going to start to move. If they don't halt it, if they allow us to move toward that 919 mark, which I have here as our target within the next couple of weeks, we may get stopped out a little early. The 200 moving average is sitting right over here as well. Like I mentioned, about 850 can be a possibility after the reversal, but it's coming. Everything is really just hinging on what's happening with the lawsuit right now. That's the reason that they're sucking the volume out of this thing, just because of not being sure where things are going. Not really much we can do right now except for a hold. If you're looking into holding the stock, it's still a good opportunity, in my opinion, to pick up some shares cheaper and ride this thing out. At the end of the day, they do have to cover their shares regardless, so we'll see how that whole thing plays out. But in the meantime, support your favorite stock. If you're holding this thing, support the movie theaters, support the popcorns and stores at the Walmarts and so on and so forth. What opportunities here? Like I mentioned before, my 3-day chart is showing us if we break this area, I'm expecting our target 2 at some point to be hit. I have it here at $29.85, and I'm expecting that somewhere toward the end of the summer, once the volume starts to come in and the details about what's happening with the company overall, hopefully going into a cash flow positive situation. turns this whole thing around. So we'll see. We're going to keep positive on this whole thing. Keep a look at the charts. I'll do whatever I can as far as updating and keep you guys up to date on what I'm seeing with this thing and take it from there. So that pretty much wraps up the update for AMC. If you like this type of content and more reviews on some of the charts and what I'm seeing on the overall macro sense, as well as some of the intraday action, I'm going to be here every single day growing our portfolios together and making the outcome income for 2023. Like and subscribe, hit the comment buttons, leave your comments down in the comment section below. Until next time, enjoy the long weekend. We'll be back on Tuesday for more stock market shenanigans and so on and so forth. But enjoy your weekend, enjoy your family, enjoy your time off, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday. Peace. If you want to learn a little bit more about how we actually go ahead and take some momentum trades and what we look for on a daily basis to make money in the markets, I have a small video here. Take a look at that. Just a quick overview of how we actually trade momentum, and hope to see you in the next video.